We're a long way from wet tyres at the moment. They are used Coopers on Gronholm's Hyundai i20. I'd be staggered if anyone had new tyres for the final, to be honest, at this stage of the weekend.
And we're talking slicks, but with cuts in them.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they're a cross-ply construction, so they're quite different to the Radar Rally tyres you would see on a tarmac rally stage.
So the Supercar final is the last race of day one here in Latvia. The grid has Niklas Gronholm on pole position, second in the championship. And again, the drivers on this grid, with the exception of Thomas Brintersen, are all looking for a maiden win. Brintersen has had one victory, and he lines up second on the grid. Second row, Ole Christian Vejby and Juri Belivski. Third row, Philip German and Enzo Eid. And Eid, look, has got clear racetrack ahead of him, albeit on the outside line. German is the one that's got traffic ahead of him and around him. So inside of the third row, never a good place to be. Vejby, if he gets the whole shot, might just be able to sprint between the two on the front row, but there are an awful lot of ifs in this.
There are, and they've no idea where the grip level is in the run to the first corner, especially where the rubber is laid down, and it's now raining pretty hard. We can hear it on the roof of the studio truck at the moment. It's an explore into the unknown. They will be following Niklas Gronholm's brake lights.
That's, yeah, true enough, assuming that they don't
gets
jump
there
ahead of him
first.
on the first corner. Indeed, yes. You were slightly getting ahead of everybody there, which is what Gronholm wants to do. But it is time now to find out whether this is going to be true to form. He's been fastest in Q1, Q2, Q3. He's on pole. We're ready for the Supercar final then. Round 5 of Rally X about to get underway for the Supercars in Riga. It is blast off, a dreadful start by Gerben, a good start by Gronholm. Good start also by Belivski. He's up into second place and has to go to the race leader. Brintersen is third. Eid on the inside of him, and then down in fifth is Vejby. Gerben staggers off the line, but it's Gronholm ahead of Belivski, who's going to have a go on the inside line. Is he? He thinks about it. There's contact. He gets into the side of Gronholm, and off he goes. Gronholm in the wall. He spins and spins, and he gets collected by Vejby. This might well be a stoppage, but big damage out of the car.
He's livid.
Gronholm, he's out of the race.
I think that will be looked at by the stewards. There wasn't a car's whip there, I don't think. We'd need to see it again to be sure. Belivski leads up front. Gronholm got fired into the wall, then got collected by OC Vejby in the background. We saw how slippery it was off the start line. You see no one got traction. Brintersen's gone for the joker early on. This is Enzo Eid now, following the race leader, but there is so little grip. Look at the Audi moving around.
Big struggle for the drivers now, trying to assess the traction. Of course, they've not been round the circuit. They don't get a warming up lap. They're straight into this. They've got to deliver right from the get-go. So it is Juri Belivski who leads. There might be a bit of a question mark over all of that. Out of the race as well, look, is Vejby's car. Race carries on. We go through that yellow flag zone. There's bodywork lying on the road. So now a very slippery circuit up here. Look at the slide there from Belivski. Enzo Eid going after him. 1.9 seconds behind him. Third, Thomas Brintersen. And a hugely frustrated Niklas Gronholm and equally frustrated OC Vejby are spectators.
Brintersen's in the pound seat to get Eid here. He's taken his joker, already closing on the Audi S1. There's no need for Eid to take the joker yet. None of these guys work out of the same ordnings though. They're all in separate teams, unlike some of the other cars on the grid, so they're not working with each other. Belivski though, finding grip where others can't. It's dry really, or looks dry at least, coming through the final corner. Then it's clearly wet now, looking down from the drone into this more wooded section of the track. Look at the raindrops firing at the camera.
Look relatively close to Gronholm's stricken car, but they're all being mindful of where that is. Now the lead gap, 2.5 seconds last time. Again, lots of opposite, lots of correction needed from Eid and also from Brintersen. And Brintersen is closing on Eid, but getting away is Belivski. Belivski has got good speed right now.
Really, this is all going to come down to how slippery the joker lap is. We don't really know how much it's still raining. Belivski will be exploring the unknown in the joker, and there's a lot of tarmac in that section on the left here as we look. It looks very greasy, doesn't it? How much can Brintersen close down? So much understeer from Enzo Eid. Brintersen looks well on top of these conditions. Is he going to lose too much?
Belivski's been disqualified. Juri Belivski disqualified. It's come up on the timing screen, so he leads on the road, but in real terms it is Enzo Eid ahead of Thomas Brintersen. That's the reason for Belivski's exclusion. It's because of the incident that he has been deemed to have caused that put Gronholm out of the race and and therefore Baby as well have got tangled up in it. So it is on the road, Balevski in the lead. In real terms, it is Eid, but he's got to Joker. So Thomas Brinterson, he's on for a second win of the year.
And despite being parked on the grid, not getting away at all, Philip German, who is some 11 seconds behind this pair, is going to finish on the podium. Ida goes again on the main lap. Brinderson is a canny operator though. He can't afford to drop too much behind Ida, but he'll know what's going on. He'll also know that Balevski will no doubt protest that decision. That's why I guess he's continuing to circulate, because they will go to the stewards afterwards. He will go and contest that decision. So he wants to finish that race on the road. He'll joker this time around.
Get it to the line, argue about it later. I think it's a forlorn hope if the exclusion has been announced, but even so, Balevski leads. Eid will joker this time, but Thomas Brinterson is on target then for the win, seemingly, because he's 2.1 seconds only ahead of Brinterson. That's not enough. So it's all going to be a dramatic end to the day. That is full certain. I don't think we'd have predicted a Thomas Brinterson win necessarily. And where is Eid going to form back in behind him? He goes for the joker lap now. So does Balevski. Here comes Brinterson. He comes up the inside. There'll be a checkered flag and a black flag then for Yuri Balevski. I assume he's been told about that from his spotters. Here comes Brinterson. He's going to get ahead of Enzo Eid, but only just up to the checkered flag. Thomas Brinterson takes the win from Enzo Eid behind on the road, the disqualified Yuri Balevski. Thomas Brinterson takes it by only 0.6 of a second, and that is the story of the race, isn't it? Nicholas Gronholm's car, which had dominated Q1, Q2, Q3, broken, coming out of turn 4. Now let's have another look at the start here. It was a demon getaway by both Gronholm and Brinterson, and Balevski was away even more impressively. Dreadful start by German, but look, Balevski took the fight to Gronholm into the first corner. They managed to avoid contact there. So the next target was to try to make a move out of the chicane, and it started here.
It did, struggling for traction massively on the exit. Balevski looks to the inside. The door is closing, and he was never truly in it, because I think I'd like to see that from a different angle, but he's collected Gronholm in the rear wheel. That rear corner of the car is broken. I wonder if that's been broken when he got hit, but so he's already backwards into the corner by that point. But I think most of the contact was in the rear quarter. That's broken the suspension, and more damage to Vaby's Audi. Those boys had so much work to do to that car after Kovler. Very good of him to drive it out of the way. I guess he was trying to get going at that stage. And then it was pretty formulaic up front. I tell you what though, David, I'm surprised at how close it was between Ida and Brinderson at the end.
Yes.
Enzo smashed in a couple of good laps there at the end, did the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate tour, really found where the grip was. But Brinderson, who initially lost the win in round 3 and then got it back again by a judicial decision following the race, gets his second win of the year. I'm really disappointed for Nicholas. He did everything right today.
Yeah,
got the start nailed from pole, and you know, it was his to lose, and unfortunately, out of his control, he lost it.
And you got to feel for O.C. Vaby as well, because he arrived on the scene and found a car mid-accident in his path. He tried to avoid it, but there's nothing he could do. And both drivers, yes, there you go. There's this explosion of bodywork and dust in front of me, says O.C. Vaby. And Nicholas Gronholm reflects on a battered car and a lot of work for the team to do. But at least they do have this repair day. But, yeah.
You can tell from his expression he's not pleased. He doesn't show a lot of emotion on his face, but you can tell from Nicholas's glare when he's not happy, and that is certainly the case there.
So Yuri Balevski arrives in the Parc Ferme area, and whether he now strides to the stewards to go and appeal, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think it's going to get him very far.
No, but I'm sure that's why. I'd be surprised if Kenneth Hansen on the radio and Eric Farren even told him, because if they made the decision to leave him out, why trouble him with that information?
True.
So they could well not have delivered that.
Which is therefore rather hard to take if he thinks he's had a maiden win. However, either way, Thomas Brinterson is the man that wins this 5th round of the championship for the Supercars in Rally X, ahead of Enzo Eid and Philip German taking 3rd. We lost Ola Christian Vaby and